There we go. So, hi, my name is Rachel Burtis. I'm the Inward Investment Manager at Invest Northeast, and I am joined by Penny Day of the Digital Catapult Northeast and Tees Valley to talk about the immersive tech sector in the Northeast. So, hi, Penny. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you're well.
Hello, no worries. I'm good. Thank you. Hope you are too.
Yes, brilliant. Could you maybe please tell us a bit more about your role and what the Digital Catapult Northeast and Tees Valley is?
Yeah. So I'll start kind of giving a bit of a breakdown as to what Digital Catapult Northeast Tees Valley is. So Digital Catapult Northeast Tees Valley, it's a bit of a mouthful, is part of the Catapult network. So the Catapult network was basically set up by a branch of the government that we know as Innovate UK, and this was set up in 2011. So each different catapult kind of focuses on different areas of technology or kind of different sectors as well. So we have kind of offshore renewable energy catapult, we have satellite applications, gene therapy. So the digital catapult itself kind of serves to support both the tech startups and large organizations, as well as kind of what we would consider as traditionally non-digital businesses. And we support them in ways of basically helping kind of understand that how the adoption and growth of advanced digital technologies can kind of further their work and support kind of the UK economy and its growth. So we really focus on kind of 4 different strands of technologies. So one of them is future networks. So this could be kind of LPWAN and 5G. We also focus on immersive, and this is VR, AR. This is a lot of our work with kind of our immersive lab, and we focus on digital edge technologies and artificial intelligence. So we primarily focus as a regional centre on the region's strengths. So we work a lot with manufacturing and we work a lot with creative. We also have kind of another regional centre over in the Northern Ireland Centre, and we also have our central team too. So although we do work with creative and manufacturing primarily, we also kind of work with volunteer organisations, and we're not really limited by sector either. So my role as innovation specialist is I primarily focus on supporting the creative industries and also charities, but I also operate the Immersive Lab, which is based at Proto.
Brilliant, thank you very much. So it would be, I guess, a good point to talk about the immersive tech sector. You mentioned there that these catapults are set up where there are real strengths within certain areas, and with our region, immersive technology certainly is something that's growing out of the games industry, really. Can you tell me a bit more about what the scene is and the ecosystem within the region?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, the Northeast itself has kind of been cited in multiple reports now as kind of being this massive hub and growth sector for immersive technology, creative R&D space. And really, to me, I think the Northeast is just such a unique place because we have not only these amazing immersive tech companies, but we also have these brilliant educational institutions such as Gateshead College and 3 universities that all have these amazing kind of focuses on technology and gaming. And that's not to kind of mention just the Northeast as well. We have kind of the wider Tees Valley area, and we also have kind of Teesside University that we know a lot of kind of the gaming professionals come out of as well. And as well as that, we do have kind of really great kind of supporting councils as well, such as Gateshead Council. We have a really close relationship with Gateshead Council as we work with them to kind of operate Proto as a whole. So Gateshead Council basically runs the building, which is kind of this immersive tech centre where we have all of these different immersive companies and gaming companies, and we operate the immersive lab within that. So as a whole, kind of Proto as a building is great because we can do everything from that front end, that, you know, end-to-end kind of development of this immersive content. So we can have the lab as a space where we can get people in who are maybe traditionally from non-digital businesses. And that's kind of almost can be like an ideation area where people know a bit more about the technology. We can help support kind of the STEM skills as well, do a lot of workshops with kind of schools and universities. But then also it can be used by the actual tech SMEs as well. You know, we have the office spaces that are provided by Gateshead Council within there, but that kind of, the lab itself can be used as maybe an R&D space. It can be used for workshops that can be bringing in, you know, different clients. But also we've got those facilities as well within Proto to actually create that content. So we could create the immersive, with Gateshead's support as well, obviously, kind of create that immersive content using their amazing facilities such as the photogrammetry rig or the motion capture stage. And then again, just kind of use those other facilities that we have within the actual building, but then also in the immersive lab to even view that content. So it is just, the scene in general is so great. And that's why we have that innovation program. And we will be kind of looking at creating a new one as well, for a new centre. And, it's not just a coincidence that these areas are popping up. It's, it's built on kind of this fact that we are the massive immersive hub now.
Yeah, true. Brilliant. I guess to summarize there, you're saying that it's a very multifaceted, this ecosystem. There are facilities there where people can access real, R&D kit. They can also be even just introduced in the immersive lab, testing a variety of different headsets. There's support available from you guys and other networks to be able to unlock new opportunities, I guess, and look across different cross sectors. So it's not just about creating immersive content for games or for immersive, but as you touched upon there, it can cut across a number of different sectors, healthcare, retail, and that's something that you guys have been exploring a bit more through workshops and things, haven't you? And I think you've got some showcases coming up and some that have happened. Can you tell me a bit more about those?
Yeah, so we basically, just before everything with COVID happened, we had basically planned to create a kind of a program of different showcases. And the first showcase we were looking at creating was one that was around kind of marketing, but not just marketing. Kind of sometimes people view immersive for marketing as maybe kind of quite gimmicky, but actually it isn't. It can create this really strong brand experience and really help customers and clients connect with a brand in different ways. So for this, we kind of put out a bit of an expression of interest to understand what kind of tech SMEs would be interested in this. And we got some really, really strong applications, but the 4 successful ones were Animersion, Mad Digital, Aircard, so Fuzzy Logic Studios. So all based in the Northeast, all doing some really cool stuff around creating really cool, good brand experiences using immersive technology. And so just as we were about to kind of run the showcase and kind of show off this technology as well, COVID happened. So we decided instead, actually, that we would still go ahead with it, and we ran it as an immersive event, as a remote event, sorry. And it was really great. It was really interesting to kind of, again, that process of linking up these tech SMEs with the wider community. And actually, I think what's really important with immersive technology, it's great for gaming, and it does create that really unique experience, but actually it's great to show use cases where it can be applied in other areas, like you said, like healthcare or retail. And really just kind of showing brands and different people how it can be used. And actually, I think we had this issue at the beginning of the pandemic where businesses were started to kind of get quite scared and, thought, how do we stay afloat in this time? But actually now people are starting to look at, actually, okay, we have this issue. How do we in the future prevent anything, affecting our business like this again? And actually, some of the use cases, for example, if you were to use augmented reality, it can be great for creating an amazing brand experience, and you don't have to be in front of a client or in front of kind of a brand there either. Same as virtual reality as well.
No, absolutely. It would be good to understand about how companies could even get access into working with you guys and being supported. It doesn't matter what size company you are. Could it be a large corporate with a number of things that they want to look at as to how they could be a bit more innovative in, or if a smaller company with some great ideas? How does that kind of matchmaking connection happen?
Yeah, so we work with kind of companies of all different shapes and sizes. So kind of as part of the Northeast Tees Valley, we work really, really hard to create these commercial opportunities for startups, scale-ups, SMEs, traditionally non-digital businesses, by educating them about the potential application of these emerging technologies. And we can kind of do this in a variety of different means. So we have all of our innovation services, and this can kind of include just one-to-one support. This can include innovation workshops, which we can run kind of in the lab, or it can just be completely a separate event. Hackathons, horizon scanning, and we also kind of offer these fully funded residentials as well. So these, again, are offered to our manufacturing creative sectors. Our manufacturing residentials are typically kind of ERDF funded and focus on emerging technologies and how they can really help to support the manufacturing sector, increase their productivity. And so actually, as part of those residentials, they sometimes lead on to our digital manufacturing program, who my colleague Sophie Craggs looks after. And this basically, again, is really an in-depth kind of look at these technologies and how they can help to shape their organization. And so we have the other ones that we run, which are for the creative sector. So this is done in partnership with Sunderland Culture. And we run, traditionally, these are residentials again. So when I say residential, just to clarify, I mean kind of just a day and a half full of workshops and talks from people within the sector to basically really kind of create this very unique networking experience, but also for the kind of attendees to come away with a bit more of an idea of how they could look at potentially using technology within their sector. But actually, obviously, at the minute, we can't really do the residentials, and also I think you get slight Zoom fatigue doing that for a day and a half. So we are still running sessions, but they are remotely at the moment.
No, absolutely fair enough. And it's good that these things are still continuing on, because, as you mentioned, businesses still require support or want to look at expanding and looking into new opportunities. If you were an inward investor, so somebody who wanted to relocate into the region or expand their operations here, and we've seen a lot of that with immersive technology companies, because, as we've mentioned, there's the office spaces, the R&D facilities, this expansive support network, and a lot of people are very friendly in the Northeast, aren't we? We kind of support each other and help each other out. That's a really good sign of a growing cluster that wants to see everybody succeed. But how could they engage with you guys? Is it literally just get in contact and start that conversation? Are there events coming up maybe that they could, even if they're online, I guess, could look into and be part of?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, a big part of our innovation services as well is we have basically created this very unique model that we call Business Challenge 2.0. And this really came from a lot of the frustrations that we found from kind of tech SMEs and the larger businesses that were kind of running these challenges, that actually some things weren't as transparent. And, so we've worked really hard on this model to create it to be this really transparent and honest model that looks at kind of presenting an honest kind of time frame, budget, cost, and really helping to facilitate that relationship between the kind of the tech SME and the other business. And we really work hard on kind of creating that brokerage and relationship there. And we've done it through kind of years of experience with working with larger corporates, for example, like Nissan or Barclays, and also kind of other maybe smaller businesses, or kind of different sectors as well. A new one that we're kind of looking at the moment is a pilot program that we're running with ASEAN. I'm going to try and get this right. And ASEAN is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. And this was basically to kind of, what's really good about this is that the challenge-led approach is obviously to innovation is kind of seen really strong in the UK, but also actually now it's being seen as kind of a new way of working further afield as well. So we're delivering this as part of Sunderland Software City, working with the Department of International Trade and the UK Tech Cluster Group. And this is going to really seek to uncover some really tough government or business challenges from across ASEAN. And this will then be opened up to the UK tech business ecosystem as well, to develop some really innovative solutions. So at the moment, we're kind of identifying those challenge owners, and then those challenges will be pushed out. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Definitely great. It sounds really, really interesting, and I think there's certainly a lot there that investors could look to engage with, to work with the community of immersive tech companies here already, but to also look at things like Kielder Forest, for instance. There's sectors out there, I guess, that are willing and open to introducing immersive technology into their operations, and actually there are support networks available to connect companies with each other. So it sounds like there's a lot happening, and it's definitely something that people should get in touch with us about to talk about more, shouldn't they?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and we have also been working on kind of, as a result of COVID, these are some kind of new pilot program offers as well. And so these, again, at the moment, we're just in that process of identifying some businesses to work with at the moment. But these 3 different projects have come really as a direct result of COVID-19 and kind of, again, shaping what we do to kind of fit in with the wider business community. So yeah, look out for those.
No, that's a good note to end on. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time, Penny, and hopefully speak to you again soon.
No worries. Yes, you too.